Hello everyone, this is Calvin Professor C here. So lately, a lot of my students is asking me, hey Calvin, I am about to enter the industry, but some people ask me to go into the bank and be a mortgage specialist, and some people are telling me to become a mortgage broker. So which one is better? What do you think? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you all the pros and cons about being a mortgage specialist, which I have been, as well as the pros and cons of being a mortgage broker, which I am. Now, before I continue, I am going to have my live workshop on August the 13th and 14th if you would like to join me as well as some other student, a small group, we are going to have a small group session that's coming August 13th and 14th. And you can have more information and sign up on the link down below at www.mortgagehackercanada.com. Okay. Alternatively, if you would like to purchase my book on Amazon, there's also a link there, or you can search my book on Amazon. Okay. Now, without further ado, let me tell you the difference between the mortgage specialist as well as mortgage broker. Mortgage specialist, first of all, is hired by the bank, and they do not require you to have the mortgage license exam because it is a different regulation. Okay. So that's one of the cons. So, if you are hired by the bank, you do not need to write that mortgage broker exam, mortgage agent exam. So that's one. Second is, if that you are a mortgage specialist in the bank, obviously you are the employee of the bank. So you have, you are covered with their health insurance, the pension, you get some staff benefit, like most of the bank would offer you a free bank account. You have you can use their printer, you can use their photocopier, you can, usually go to any of their branch and tell them that I'm a staff, I'm a mortgage specialist of this bank, and you can, use their facility. I have worked in, all 5 banks, and most of them are similar, you get similar benefit. So that's the second benefit of it. You are an employee of the bank, so you get all those, perks. Okay. Third is you usually get some basic training from the bank. And I emphasize basic because they will give you some basic sales technique. You will get some basic training. Is it sufficient? Not really, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so you get some training from the bank. Okay, and lastly, I think one of the benefits of working in the bank is you get the brand name. A lot of people know that the big 5 bank because they're everywhere. They have branch everywhere. So you kind of like you get recognized by people being, oh, you work for Royal Bank or you work for TD Bank. Oh, I know TD Bank. Just like if you work for IBM, even though you may be a janitor in there, but you can tell people, hey, I work for IBM, and people say, oh, wow, you work for IBM, right? So there's a brand recognition there. So that's some of the benefit of working in the bank as a mortgage specialist. Now, some of the cons as a mortgage specialist in the bank is they are usually have a minimum quota for you every month, every quarter, or every year. So you have to go in as a full-time gig, right? So you cannot just do part-time and then you have your full-time job and then go in as a mortgage specialist as part-time. They usually don't work like that, right? So it's very difficult to have to work in the bank as a part-time. Because they pay you so much in the benefit, they give you so much stuff. They want you to achieve a minimum number of deals, number of case, number of volumes, right? So you probably have to go in as a full-time. So that's one of the cons, because not everybody want to go in as a full-time. Some people, they have a pretty good, full-time job, full-time income, very stable. They just want to, have a part-time gig as on the weeknight, on the weekend. They want to, get to know more people. They might have a large network of people, but they just want to do mortgage on a side job. That won't be possible in the bank. The second disadvantage of being a mortgage specialist is it is probably more difficult to get into the bank. The bank is, especially now during the COVID-19, they are more hesitate to hire you because they are probably having a higher hiring freeze or something like that. Especially if you are new into the industry, they might hire someone from other bank that is top producer or something like that. But if you are new to the industry, they might not be hiring you because there are so many overhead for them to pay you, like health benefits, staff benefit that I just mentioned. It costs them a lot of money, right? So that's the disadvantage. Number two for being a mortgage specialist is not as easy to hire by the bank as a mortgage brokerage. Okay. So now let's talk about the benefit of being a mortgage broker. Basically, being a mortgage broker, the advantage of it is we just mentioned about the disadvantage of being a bank mortgage specialist. The advantage of being a mortgage broker is exactly that, right? So you get much more flexible hours, flexible schedule, because you can do part-time, you can do, it has less pressure for you to perform with a certain quota, certain volume, certain number of deals per month, per quarter, per year, right? You can do it at your own pace. You can do it as a part-time. You can, try it out, whether the mortgage industry is what you like to do, right? But, in the bank, you can't do that. You have to go full-time, 100%, everything go in, right? So, you may not be able to test it out. So being a mortgage broker, you can, agent, you can do that, right? Also, you probably will get hired easier than going into the bank because, the brokerage owner would have less cost associated with hiring you, right? Normally they don't provide health benefit or any other benefit to you. They might have an office, they might have some office equipment for you to use, but most of them are like that, right? They don't have any health benefit coverage or any other special benefit for you. So without heavy overhead costs, then they are more willing to hire some new person to test you out and give you a chance, right? So they should hire more easily than the bank, right? And the third one is that there's less political office politics in the mortgage agent industry because there are not much hierarchy in the organization, right? There's not much like manager, and then there's another manager, and then there's a VP, CEO, and all that, right? So it's relatively flat. It's just the broker of record, and then a bunch of sales. There might be some supporting staff and all that. So usually in the mortgage agent, there are less, in the mortgage brokerage, there are usually less hierarchy and therefore less office politics. So you get what you you get paid by number of volumes that you bring in. So yeah, that's about it. So I hope this video give you some idea of if you are starting out in the mortgage industry, whether you should apply into the bank as a mortgage specialist, or if you're planning to go to independent mortgage brokerage. Hopefully this video will give you some idea. Okay, so I will see you next week. Thank you.